apart from everyone.
My trip started in Boston, and I first headed north up the Atlantic coast and over to the White Mountains, further west to the Green Mountains, on down to Bennington, and then to Sturbridge. My car for the trip was appropriately in maple leaf red. I went to New England in October hoping to see colour, and the good folks of Maine provided it in the form of displays of pumpkins and pot mums in profusion. Nature's fall colours would take over later when I reached the mountains of New Hampshire and Vermont. I already knew that chrysanthemums came in a whole range of colours, but I'd absolutely no idea of the multitude of colours, shapes and sizes that pumpkins could be had in. Both species seem to have completely taken over the farm shop, along with a few decorated corn sheaves and corn dolls. As I headed on north to the White Mountains through the Sebago Lakes region, I stopped off for a so-called end-of-season foliage cruise. The boat was named the Songo River Queen and was styled on a Mississippi River paddle wheeler. The cruise was around the shores of Long Lake. It clearly showed Americans' love of building by lake shores, with everything from mansions through cabins to basic boathouses to be seen nestling in between the trees.
Twice a year, day and night fall into balance, lasting for nearly equal lengths. Known as equinoxes, Latin for equal night, they occur in March and September, and along with solstices, mark the changing of seasons as Earth travels around the sun. Astronomers like to describe the equinox within the conceptual celestial sphere. Here, the heavens are projected around the Earth like an enormous planetarium. The model is bisected by the celestial equator, a projection of Earth's own equator. The equinox occurs at the point at which the sun's path, or ecliptic, crosses the celestial equator. In spring, it is known as the vernal equinox, and in fall, the autumnal equinox. The other two seasonal points on the sun's path are the two solstices. In the northern hemisphere, the summer solstice marks the longest day of the year, while the winter solstice marks the shortest. The seasonal aligning of the sun has been more than just a unique celestial event for humankind throughout history. Ancient sites like Stonehenge in England and Machu Picchu in Peru have well-documented solar alignments during the solstices. Similarly, the equinoxes have been associated with some amazing man-made phenomena. In the ancient Maya city of Chichen Itza, the Great Pyramid known as El Castillo is oriented along cardinal axes. During the equinoxes, shadows cast by the railings create the illusion of a writhing serpent body descending the northern steps where it joins the carved serpent's head at the base of the stairway. The cultural significance of the fall equinox and changing of seasons continues today, especially in the northern hemisphere, where the autumnal equinox occurs around harvest season. In fact, the full moon nearest the autumnal equinox is commonly referred to as the harvest moon. In China and other Asian countries, this time is celebrated with the Mid-Autumnal Festival. The origins are linked to the birth of the moon goddess, and festival traditions revolve around families with reunions and feasts and special moon cakes.
Matt Sampson here with meteorologist John Erdman. John, summer's on its way out, which means the fall equinox. But explain to me what exactly the fall equinox is.
Well, the fact that we even have seasons on the Earth is due to the Earth's tilt and its voyage around the sun. Now, in the summer months, the most direct rays shine on the northern hemisphere. In the winter months, the most direct rays shine in the southern hemisphere. The halfway point is where the sun's most direct rays shine at the equator, and that is the equinox.
Are there any visible signs of the equinox?
Well, the first thing you notice on the day of the equinox is that the hours of daylight and night are roughly equal. Let's say you actually bought a new house and are wondering which direction is east and west. You'll notice that on the equinox, the sun rises due east and sets due west. So that gives you an idea of how you can orient yourself. And then finally, if you just happen to be at the equator, at noon on the equinox, the sun will be directly overhead.
Peace be unto you. Hello and welcome to another episode of your Human Service News and Information broadcast at CCTV. I'm Hassan Rashid, your host, and I'll be here with you for approximately 25 more minutes. You know, it's excellent being here with you once again, and it's such a great achievement to come into your lives like we do here daily at the CCTV. And with that, I extend a universal cordial of peace out to you, and that is peace be unto you. Okay, I guess you gathered it from the opening videos. Summer is over with, so don't you be walking around here in suspended animation still thinking it's summer. No, it is fall now. Fall 2019, autumn or autumnal equinox. That's when the well, we'll have more about autumn equinox. We showed a little bit, touched on a little bit in the opening videos, but I'll tell you something about what time it is, time it is. It's actually right now here in New England. It's autumn equinox. Okay, we'll get back to that in a minute. But right now I'd like to fill you in on some of the things, nice things that's happening around here at the CCTV. Okay, the Google and CCTV presents Internet Security. That's a course. It's a late September course, and that's only one session, and it's Internet Security 101. That's the title of it. Web Scam Awareness and Internet Safety. That's one session Monday, September 30th. So mark that down. That's 1 to 3 p.m. Google employees will go over the basic concepts and procedures for successful Internet safety. Topics will include an overview of smart email habits to acquire, the use of virus scans, how to stay alert of internet fraud and email phishing scams, tips for creating a unique password, and an explanation of preventative processes like Google's two-step verification. Okay, so if you're interested, you can call, and you can register for this class. Still got time to register. You can call 617-661-6900 or email ellen@cctvcambridge.org. CCTV, you know, is located in Scissor Square, 438 Massachusetts Avenue, just a few doors above the fire station. Okay, there's a few more things that's happening late September here. That's okay. That's the well, I guess that is. We're gonna turn to October, 10th month of the year. Okay, so on Thursday, 10/10, 6 to 9 p.m. There's a class entitled, this class is free, Intro to Premieres. Okay, on Wednesday, October 16th, there's a DSLR 101. That's Wednesday, 6 to 9 p.m. Audio 101. Okay, excuse me, not free. All these courses got a small fee attached to them. So that's Audio 101 Thursday, October 10th, 17, 6 to 9 p.m. Field Camera 101 Sunday, October 20th, 6 to 9 p.m. Intro to Podcasting Monday 10, October 10th to 21. So if you're interested in these classes you just heard me announce, share with you, and there's or other courses. Okay, the whole I guess the whole list will be out in a week or so for October. But you can call 617-661-6900 or again email Ellen at cctvcambridge.org. Okay, on October 7th, 6 to 9 p.m., CCTV presents Super Orientation. Come learn what CCTV is all about and take studio production and 360 video class while you are at it. So that's a Super Orientation, Monday, October 7th, 6 to 9 p.m. So you can come and learn about studio productions, 360 video classes, and much more. So to register, you can call 617-661-6900 or Ellen at cctvcambridge.org. Okay, I'm Hassan Rashid once again, and this is the Human Service News and Information. You know, since we're talking about sun, moon, and stars, autumnal equinox, and how these changes of nature, changes of seasonal changes, are beneficial to humanity. You know, the sun itself is a human service. The sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, those entities are human services that were created by God. God created those entities as human services for humanity. So this is a great time of the year that we're living in. We're living in God-created human services. You know, there's a difference between man-created human service and God-created human service. But right now, we don't have the time to really get into the specifics. But in some future show, we will share that with you. We'll tell you about the difference between God-created human services and man-created human services. But it's all regardless, it's all for the benefit of humanity. Okay, the equinox, you know, before we get to equinox, there's something on my mind. I just read in the papers about how they're having trouble at the MIT Media Lab, okay? And there's two specific events that I'd like to just touch on right here. This headlines was in the papers. It was about Media Lab director resigns after reports conceals deeper ties to Epstein. You know, Epstein was a man who was, I guess, messing around with girls in ways that he wasn't, and he got arrested, and he hung himself, killed himself in jail. Anyway, the director at the MIT Media Lab resigns because he was affiliated with this Epstein, okay? And that's number one. Number two, MIT Media Lab dumped chemicals in excess of legal limits, keeping regulators in the dark, okay? So those two headlines, they're bothering me because we're all about media here, and sometimes we do a little work, I guess, with the MIT down there, okay? But I don't know. As soon as I get more details on that, I'll share it with you right here at your Human Service News and Information. I like to tell you that the Governor Baker to speak at the 44th Annual Providers Council Convention, the 44th Annual Conventions of the Providers Council. They used to be the Massachusetts Association of Human Service Providers, but they changed their name to the Providers Council. They're having their 44th annual anniversary. The Providers Council is pleased to announce that the Governor Baker will deliver a special address during the 44th annual Convention and Expo Counts. That's the theme of this year's Convention Expo, 44th annual Convention Expo. It's entitled "Everyone Counts" in Boston on October 7th. It will be the fourth Providers Council convention for Baker since taking the corner office in 2015. Additionally, Executive Office of Health and Human Services Secretary Mary Lou Sutters will deliver a welcome message at the start of the morning event. We're honored that the Governor and Secretary will once again be joining the Providers Council for this celebration of the Commonwealth Human Services sector, said Council President CEO Michael Weeks. From the start, the Baker administration have worked in partnership with the sector as we create plans of success for many residents in Massachusetts. We thank them both for scheduling the time in October to come speak directly to our dedicated workforce. The Providers Council's annual convention and expo is the largest one-day event of its kind in the Northeast. It brings more than 1,200 human services providers to Boston for a day of education, celebration, and networking. Okay, the Providers Council 44th Annual Convention Expo, Everyone Count, takes place Monday, once again, October 7th, at the Marriott Copley Place House Hotel in Boston. This year's event is sold out, so there's no more tickets. There's no more. They're not admitting nobody. No one else. It's all sold out. To improve. So if you like to inquire about the waiting list, you can call. You can call it 617-342-7218. Once again, 617-342-7218. All of the tickets for the Providers Council Annual 44 Convention and Expo, entitled Everyone Counts, is all sold out. So if you like additional information about getting on the waiting list, perhaps something will open up and you'll be able to attend that event. You can call 617-342-7212. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. You know, coming up in Cambridge, there's something. Well, this is going on right now. This is there's this event called Climate Preparedness Week. Okay, Climate Preparedness Week. That's correct. What is Prep Week? Okay, so during September 24th, 30th each year, Cambridge marks Climate Preparedness Week, dedicated to learning, service, and action that better prepare our communities for extreme weather events. By coming together to host events, we will provide the resources, space to think about the ways that climate change disadvantages some communities more than others. To learn more about how you can participate, get in touch with I guess it's the city of Cambridge. The second annual Climate Prep Week will be celebrated. I guess I already announced it, September 24th to September 30th, and will feature a variety of events with contributions from dozens of community partners throughout Massachusetts. So that's Climate Protection Week. So you come on out and join the city of Cambridge and communities responding to extreme weather and observing Climate Preparedness Week, September 24th to 30th, 2019, through a book discussion, poster exhibit, and other events that community will come together to learn about city planning, climate preparedness effort, and action that households can take to prepare for climate change related impacts and emergencies. I think that's okay. There's an event that's related to this at the Cambridge Public Library coming up, and so somehow that information has escaped me for right now. But don't forget now, the Cambridge Farmers Market is still in full swing. I don't think they're going to shut down this year until November. So, you know, the holidays are coming up, and if you'd like to get fresh produce, etc., now is the time to get all those things while those things are still in season and available at the Cambridge Farmers Market. So right here, I got our local farmers market closest to CCTV is Central Square Farmers Market, and they'll be open until November 25th, every Monday from noon to 6 p.m. at Bishop Allen Drive at North Fork. Okay, so that's more convenient for those who live right down here in Central Square. Okay, that's the Bishop Allen, Norfolk. That's where the farmers market is at. Okay, that's not. I like to get back in the opening video. We had the opening video, and it was about autumn equinox and fall, autumn in New England, and there's a lot of insight in that that video, and I'd like to share some more of it with you before we go off the air, because it's autumn, and I like to just try to stay in the mood of the seasonal change. Okay, hold on.
When I reached the railway town of North Conway, at the edge of the White Mountain National Forest, I was introduced to the pumpkin people, mannequins of all sorts with pumpkins at their heads. Later, I found that there was no limit to the indignities a pumpkin could suffer. Another feature of New England is its covered bridges, dating back to the 1800s. All states have them, but Vermont has over 100 and New Hampshire over 50. These pumpkin card sharps were enjoying their game outside the local cafe. There were also sea creatures and even horses getting in on the act, but the really scary set, called Pumpkin Food Chain, was outside the local primary school. While most of the covered bridges were still fully functioning, sometimes road realignments had made them redundant and available for other purposes. In the north of the
Okay, we'll try to get back to that. So I had it right here. There's two equinoxes. One is, I guess, in March, spring, and this one is right now, September 23rd. It started, and it's entitled the autumnal equinox. Okay, this is the September equinox. That's the September equinox or southward equinox is the most is the moment when the sun appears to cross the celestial equator, heading down southward due to differences between the calendar year and the tropical year. The September equinox can occur at any time from September 21st to September 24th. At the equinox, the sun was viewed from the equator, rises due east and sets to west. Before the southward equinox, the sun rises and sets more northerly, and afterward it rises and sets more southerly. The equinox might be taken to mark the end of summer and the beginning of autumn. Autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere, while making the end of winter and the start of spring vernal equinox in the southern hemisphere. So it's all that's it's to say that it is fall now. It's autumn. It's the seasons have changed, and like I said, I opening broadcast that even the seasonal change is a human service that's provided by God Almighty. Okay, that's not a man-made human service. That is God-created human service. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay. Right now, I'd like to bring your attention back to the Cambridge Public Library. Wednesday, September 25th. That's tonight. So you're invited to join the folks at the library as they discuss the upcoming 100th anniversary of the 10th Amendment, when women won the right to vote. At this roundtable, panelists will engage us in a reflective dialogue about women's voting rights across the 20th and the 21st century. The event is co-sponsored by the Cambridge Civic Unity Committee, Chair E. Denise Simmons, Office of the City Manager Louis D. Pasquale, Cambridge Historical Society, Cambridge Public Library, Channel 22 City View, Cambridge Commission on the Status of Women, and the Cambridge Historical Commission. So this is at 6 p.m. tonight, light refreshment, 6:30 p.m. program starts. Okay, so that I know that Denise Williams and Simmons and Louis A. D. Pasquale and others, I guess they got quite a day ahead of them. Earlier they were at the YWCA in the dedication of 5 Temple Street, which was developed through the agencies of the Cambridge Housing Authority. They dedicated that new building for residents to Cheryl Ann E. Pizzioli, who was one of the founding members of the Alliance of Cambridge Tenants, and they dedicated, and they all told about her advocacy for low-income renters. So that Denise Simmons, I guess she was one of the keynote speakers, and she's going to be at the library tonight. So once again, that's September 25th, that's today, 6:30 p.m., Main Library. And this is going to be about the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment when women won the right to vote. So you be out there and check it out. So Ruha Benjamin, author of, before we go off the air, author of Race After Technology, she'll be appearing at the Main Library in the lecture hall September 26th at 6:30 p.m. You know, I'm Hassan Rashid, and it's always excellent being here with you, but there's never enough time to just share with you all the things that I would like to share with you that come under the human service sector, MOSIAC, arena, perspective, etc., etc. So until next time, I'll leave you the fact that you're always keeping those clean, play straight, and don't forget to assist someone in need of your help. So until next time, I leave you as I came, and that is with the universal cordial of peace. Peace be unto you.
White Mountains is Mount Washington. At 6,288 feet, it is the highest peak in the range, but it's also famous for its dangerously erratic weather. Even with a day of clear blue skies elsewhere, it alone was still capped with clouds. I had hoped to go up the famous Otto Road, but because of poor visibility and ice, travel up was limited to the halfway point. So, after a pause, I decided on a plan B and go round the other side of the mountain where a cog railway operated, and hope that there was a late afternoon clearing of the weather. Fortunately, it did clear,